Hello everyone, Mariposaminako here, once again. It's been a little while, and my process has changed slightly since the last time I did this, so I thought it might be nice to commentate over another time-lapse of me drawing. Today, we're gonna be drawing Okayu from HololiveJP. As before, I started a rough sketch, just trying to figure out proportions in the pose for now. You will see that I make a lot of use of the lasso tool to select parts of the sketch and resize them. Since my aim for this step is to get the proportions right, I find this very useful and recommend you try it out as well. Now, moving on to the line art. I set the sketch layer to a lower opacity, create a new layer, and start the line art on the new layer. For this drawing, I used a pencil brush for the line art, which I'll link in the description. Since the line art will be part of the final drawing, it is now important to pay attention to make sure the form is aesthetically pleasing. I pay specific attention to parts of the drawing that I know will draw in viewers. In most cases, those parts will be the face, the hair, and in the case of female characters, their chest area. You can get away with not putting too much effort on the arms, legs, or other parts of the drawing that are not the main draw. For this drawing, I would say I spent 70% of my time on the face and chest, and the other 30% on everything else. As long as those look good, people won't notice mistakes on other areas. But you should try your best to make sure things like the face are as good as they can be. Next, I start filling in base colors. For base colors, I try to keep them unsaturated, even if the character has really vibrant colors. Once I weave in all the lightning effects over the base colors, they'll look weird if they're too vibrant, so I always desaturate them a bit to start with. Next, I start with the lighten. I make a multiply layer over both the line art and colors, and fill it with a color to add shade to the whole character. For this, I use a square texture paintbrush, which will also be linked in the description. In this case, I chose a red tone to give the whole drawing a warm, kind of late afternoon kind of vibe. Over this layer, I then made an additive layer with a yellow color to simulate a really bright yellow sun. Then, I added a few overlay layers with bright red colors and used an airbrush to show how the lightning from the sun diffuses over the character. I think this overall gives the drawing a softer feel. Next, I create another multiply layer with a darker, more saturated red and start painting in the darker shadows. I then make an overlay layer and put a slight gradient over the hair on the back of the head. This makes it seem like the light from the sun is going through it, which I think creates a cool effect. On another multiply layer, I sample the skin color and slightly add it to the surrounding hair. This is to simulate bounced light, which would hit the skin and then bounce off on the hair. From here, I add a few details I forgot to add earlier. Then I make an overpaint layer. An overpaint layer is just a normal layer on top of everything else, where I manually add in details with a paintbrush. Here you can see me coloring the eyelashes and detailing the eyes a bit more. Then I also add some details to the hair. Then I just thicken the lines around the head and flip the drawing because I thought it looked better that way, I guess. And it's done. Now you can take a look at the finished illustration if you like. I hope this tutorial was helpful and that you were able to glean something useful from how I go about making my art. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to improve my videos or anything else you want clarified about my process in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye. Ciao ciao.